Hello, my name is Steve Herman, and I'm the author of Mediumship Mastery, the Ultimate Guide, which is available on Amazon. It's my book on mediumship development and training. In fact, the whole purpose of this YouTube channel that you're watching this video on is mediumship development and mediumship training. And as a teacher of mediumship, I work internationally, and I'm really into teaching. I'm really into helping others with their unfoldment, whether you're working with healing, or whether you're working with doing clairvoyance, clairsentience, physical mediumship. I'm into all of this. And we're going to talk today in this video about platform mediumship, right? Where you stand up in front of a group of people. It might only be 8 people in someone's living room, and you demonstrate mediumship. Or you're in the platform of a spiritualist church. It may be a rented hall. Maybe there's only 20 people there, 15 people there. Or it may be a very nice spiritualist church, and there's over 100 people there. You might be in a theater. There's balconies up above. There's hundreds of people in the audience in front of you, and there's all that energy to work with. So if we go around the world, there's a lot of different ways in which you can approach mediumship. It's interesting, I'm from the States. I'm based in the States. I'm on the West Coast right now. And I'm from Massachusetts. And if you go to New England, the presentation style, how people approach things with standing up and doing platform work, it's very, very, very different than if you go to the West Coast in the United States. In fact, the West Coast in the United States, the approach that mediums might work when they stand up and work, it's also very, in a general sense, different than what you're going to find in the Midwest. Let's say you go to Illinois or Indiana, compared to, let's say, Massachusetts or California, go down to Florida. So we can see that how people work, it really varies. Of course, if you go to the UK, the approach is also very different. And usually if you watch a medium work, it says a lot about their training. It says a lot about how the individuals who they studied with, what was prioritized. Now, we can see in some cases a lot of emphasis, and it's prioritized. Proof of survival, right? We're going to bring through evidence. And generally speaking, in the UK, a lot of the emphasis is going to be on proof of survival. I think there tends to be in the States, in a general sense, a lot more emphasis on the guidance aspect of what's coming through. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, you're going to have some people say, oh, it has to all be evidence. That's the whole purpose, to prove survival. Well, I always feel that it's really the spirit world sets the agenda, and they know what the recipient needs to hear. Now, the length of a message, too, really varies. I mean, typically in the United States, it was really anything past 2 or 3 minutes was considered just too long. So you'd be giving the spirit greeting. You bring the spirit through, what they have to say, and of course when you're bringing through enough to, so they'd be recognized in terms of evidence in that sense. But really it'd be a shorter type of communication. Now you go to the UK, I remember one time I was in Harrow and I was working with this one British medium, and it was on a Wednesday night, and there were a good 80 people in the spiritualist church there. I think I gave 3 messages, he gave 4. We're giving these long 7, 8 minute, 10-minute messages. Now, I don't normally work that. I can think of other churches in the UK I'd work at, and you'd have, let's say, 50, 60 people there. And I would just work very, very, very quick and reach as many people as possible, not spending such a short period, a long period of time with each person, but a short period, reach people very rapidly. People loved it, because they were so used to people doing this very long, drawn-out, often very boring. So those of you who work with mediumship, are you boring when you work, when you stand up? Is there reverence with what you're doing? Are you able to really work with your public presentation skills? And in the States, if we go back in certain sections, we have what are called machine gun mediums. Has anyone ever heard of machine gun mediumship before? Well, machine gun mediumship, just like a submachine gun, rapid fire messages, wham, wham, wham. At Freeville Spiritualist Camp, which is a early spiritualist camp that was started in the 1890s, not that far from Ithaca, New York. It was very common in that part of central New York for the mediums just to start with one row. Wham, 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 read everyone in a line down the row, and they go to the next row and the next row. In fact, they wouldn't even ask for they wouldn't even get the person's voice vibration to work. It was considered that you didn't need to do that, and they would just work this way. And of course, I can think in a general sense, working in many of the New England churches, you'd go in there, there'd be 45, 50 people, every single person you'd reach. Now, if you're working a half hour or 45 minutes, and you're having to reach 30, 40 people, 50 people, obviously you're not going to be able to spend as much time with the person. But machine gun mediumship is short, it's to the point, and it can be extremely specific, as opposed to giving a very long, elaborate communication where you go back and you can really get into things a lot, very concise, very in-depth in a way that you couldn't. Of course, the idea in these spiritualist churches that really would emphasize, more, when we say quantitatively, not diminishing the quality, but just reaching more people. That really, I think, had a lot more to do with the idea, as opposed to, we're going to demonstrate survival in front of everyone. And really, there is a place for that, but of course, it can be really boring. So if you're doing mediumistic type of work and you're standing up on the platform, work with the energy. Learn how to raise your vibration. Learn how to tune in. You won't be able to shut up. You'll stand there on the platform. You'll feel that connection with the spirit world, and they'll work with you. You'll be drawn to the people. And it doesn't even matter if you're not drawn to the people, because if you go to the people, they'll work through you and reach those people. Now, you have the indirect approach. Oh my God, does anybody here know someone with the letter E in their name? And I don't know where I am. Of course, you could be very specific with that too. And only one person raises their hand. I don't know what side of the room I'm in. Well, the spirit world knows what side of the room the person's in. They know which person it's for too. So this whole indirect type of approach to working, absolutely unnecessary. Unless it was a large theater and you couldn't see where anyone was. That's just part of the show. And it really, unfortunately, the way it's presented, it becomes a whole, people just asking 20 questions and fishing for information. And you get people in the audience feeding the medium, encouraging the medium. It's really not what this is about. Obviously, if you have a really strong connection with the spirit world and it's accurate, that's a good thing. It's not like there's one correct way to work or one way is better than another. It all really depends on the context. But with mediumship, don't put yourself in a box. With platform mediumship, study the way different mediums work and really adapt, develop, and evolve as a medium, working with your spirit team to be the best possible channel, the best possible vehicle and representative of the spirit world that you can be. So these are some things that you might want to think about. And it can be just like a submachine gun. Wham, wham, wham. Accurately, quite specifically and detailed, reaching people with one fact after another. All in one go. So I really want to encourage you with your mediumship, please smack that subscribe button below. Please like this video, share it with others. If you have questions about development, feel free to get hold of me. I teach a lot of classes. I do individualized mentoring, a lot of courses online and in person, but I'm into the teaching aspect. Certainly share your comments below, your 2 cents, and if you have any questions as well. So thank you very much, and God bless you.